You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we humbly thank you for joining us. Today is December 11th, 2024. It is a Wednesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, coming to you from Stage 22 in Elwood. Producer Susie is in the control room back at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Welcome to the girls basketball scoreboard for Tuesday's results and Wednesday's previews. We have a report from Michelle Garmon coming up on the Elwood-Tipton game. Of course, Michelle is the sports editor at the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, so she had a bit of an inside track on that one. We also spoke with Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network. He was at the Marion-Wayne game and has a report for us. And we also heard from Kokomo head coach Haley Peckinpaugh following the Wildcats' win over Western. There are only 3 previews for Thursday's games. Kevin will be at Southwood, Mississinewa, and has a preview on that one. Also, Madison Grant goes to LaPel, and Frankton is at Daleville. And we expect to get full reports on all of those games for Thursday's Central Indiana Sports Report. We start Wednesday's scoreboard in Tipton, where Elwood won its 7th game of the year, ending a 3-game losing streak with a 46-17 win at Tipton on Tuesday. Here's Michelle Garmon with a report.
Varsity CIC doubleheader. I believe the Blackford game is at Elwood. An opportunity for Elwood to end the 2024 part of their season with 3 straight wins, and it would give them 9 wins for the season, which, would be quite a feat. It would put them just within a couple victories of 500 coming in after the holidays. So it was a good night for the Panthers. Sophomore guard Breland Norris had 23 points. She was 8 of 10 at the free throw line. She also had 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. Norris scored 19 of her 23 points in the first half, helping Elwood to get control and maintain. Both teams were kind of shaky at the start, but the big difference for the Panthers, not only the play of Norris having a true point guard that can run the floor, and her skill set, her quickness, and her athleticism, was the glass. Elwood totally dominated the boards last night. Before you count in team rebounds, it was 47-17 in favor of Elwood. In fact, senior Kendra Salee had a double-double of 11 points and 17 rebounds. She herself equaled Tipton's output on the boards. Freshman Addie Stout had 11 rebounds for Elwood to go with 4 points. Tipton just couldn't keep Elwood off the glass, and then Tipton didn't help itself because they really kind of struggled to shoot the ball. They had 2 players score 5 points. They're 2 seniors, Holland Wilson. Holland also had 3 rebounds and 5 steals. All of Holland's points came in the second half. And the other was Hannah Olson, who came off the bench to score 5 points. Hannah could have had some more points if she had meshed some of her 3 free throws. In fact, the Lady Devils were just 2 of 12 from the line for the night. Coach Lela Gillmann of Tipton talks about the rebounding and stuff later in her commentary. But, this Tuesday night was a start of a busy week for Tipton. They traveled to LaPel for a Saturday afternoon game to take on a very talented LaPel team that also has an outstanding player in senior Linnea Wills. But before they make that trip to LaPel, on Thursday night, they go to Clinton Central, another tough challenge for the Lady Devils, as they will play 3 games this week. Coach Courtney Licklider of Elwood, meanwhile, she was pretty happy with her team, happy to see them end the losing streak, and she's really happy because she gets a little bit of time. She gets 2 2 days to prepare for Madison Grant when she's basically had 1 day or no days to prepare for her last two opponents, Eastbrook on Saturday after falling Friday night to a good Oak Hill team. And then she just had Monday to prepare for Tipton on Tuesday. So she gets Wednesday and Thursday to get ready for the Argyles, and then she'll have a whole week to get ready for Blackford. And so she's feeling really good about that. She also likes the fact that Elwood's going to have that their schedule gives them Christmas break off and time that she can give her players time off over the holidays to spend with family and to do things that they want to, some fun things outside of basketball. And then they'll spend the rest of the holiday season holiday time getting ready for the Madison County tournament in the first week of January.
As Michelle said, Elwood is now 7-3 and goes to Madison Grant on Friday for a CIC contest that I will be attending. Panthers coach Courtney Licklider told Michelle it was nice to get back in the win column.
It did, and especially after the Eastbrook game, I was so upset with our lack of awareness at how to play in in-game situations. But, on Sunday when I was thinking about it, I thought, that's on me too, because these girls are not used to being in basketball games at the end of games. And so, yesterday we took 20 minutes out of practice and did situations, and it's something we're going to keep doing. Because, that's something that we need to do is go through it. I can't just tell them. They've got to actually run through it and practice it. And so we did some other things, too, yesterday in practice that I saw out on the floor today, so I was very encouraged by that.
You just destroyed Tipton on the boards. I have you for 47, well, actually 50 rebounds because you had 3 team rebounds, and I've got them for 21, including 14 rebounds. So, you just literally destroyed
And
them.
What's funny is I recognized that watching film that they were a team that struggled to rebound, but with only 1 day of prep, there were so many other things I was going over, like, not allowing to break us down, and that I had forgotten to say something. And in the first quarter, when we got a couple O boards, I said to my assistant coach, I forgot to tell them that they've got to really go hard on the boards. I guess I didn't need to tell them that because they took care of it on their own.
Yeah, another nice game from Breland. And then Salih, the double-double. I know she kind of struggled to finish around the rim, though, a little bit. I'm sure you'd probably, a lot of your, because you really only took three-point shots, and then you were 17 of 44 from 2, and a lot of those were in close. So I'm sure that's something that you're hoping for the girls to get better at playing through the contact and understanding that the series of things don't have to go right in a row. You don't have to catch and immediately go right into your shot. You can catch, gather, take a power dribble, shot fake. We're trying to catch and rush things sometimes. And even on the pass, too, there were a couple of times where Breland wasn't able to make the pass, and it's because she's trying to make it off the dribble, off the screen. And it's like, no, you can stop, pass fake, then throw the pass, So it's just kind of getting to understand the flow of the game and how you make the game kind of slow down to your pace. And it's something that we're working on in practice right now, and we'll just continue to work on it. Looking ahead, of course, you've got Madison Grant, another conference game on Friday night. It's a game that you have a really great chance at winning, and then I know you have Blackford next week, which would be another Central Indiana conference game that you have a strong chance of winning.
Well, and these are both, not only are they conference games, which we haven't won a conference game in 6 years, so that would be a huge get for us. But, I told the girls, I said, we were supposed to play Madison Grant at home, but, things kind of the contract was up and we wanted to play on the same day, doubleheader, so we're back there again. I said, so, think about that. And then with Blackford, it's our new, this is our second annual winter homecoming game, also a doubleheader. So there's a lot to get excited for that game. And the good news for that game is we finally have multiple days of prep, where we can actually practice what we need to do during practice for that game. So we're excited about these two opportunities going into Christmas break.
Well, yeah, because and then I know
you guys play then again December 20th.
That's the Blackford game.
And then you're not all.
We do not play until the Madison County tournament. So that was something that I was really thankful that Ryan and I were on the same page. I was a college athlete, and there was one year I got home on Christmas break and left on the 26th at 6 in the morning. Christmas Eve. So I got home Christmas Eve, had one day, and that was something that I just thought, this is high school. These girls need time with their family. School is stressful, It's nice to have a little break, and we'll get in the gym and have some fun practices and some shooting practices, and then we'll have plenty of time to pick it back up and get serious again and get ready for a Liberty Christian team that I know has at least one girl who I've heard is pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, I think the brackets weren't too bad for
Finally, we lucked out this year. Yep.
And here's Michelle's conversation with Lela Gillmann, a former Tipton Blue Devil star herself, after the game.
It's tough enough in games for you guys if you're not rebounding well. That makes it a lot tougher.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was definitely part of the scouting report, that they do like to get after it and get lots of rebounds, that they were scrappy. And we just didn't execute tonight. We talked about being disciplined and boxing out and things like that. And it just went to the wayside tonight. That will definitely be a focus the next couple weeks in practice of just finishing defensive plays with box outs and finishing the play overall as a team.
Hey, and you really weren't super careless with the basketball tonight. I should say this is one of the cleaner games. I thought one of the cleaner games that I'd seen you guys play. Now, I know it's because outside of Norse, they really don't have a lot of super skilled kids or quick kids, which I'm sure that helps in handling the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that we took care of the ball pretty okay tonight. We do have to fix a few things, fix a little silly turnovers. We just got to make sure that we're being more disciplined on the offensive end as well. Jump stops, keeping our feet still, being ball tight, things like that, and good things will start to happen for us.
Well, and it's got to be hard to defend a player like Norris, although you had some experience because of the Harris girl with Taylor that you played last week. But I think Norris is probably a little bit just more basketball skilled.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think Shelby did a pretty good job again tonight of just sitting down and guarding. Obviously, Norris is a very skilled athlete and can go both ways. We're going to keep working on our defensive pressure, and hopefully here in the next few games we can sit down and guard some really good players from Clinton Central, LaPel, and Sheridan.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have an easy stretch. I mean, at one time, Clinton Central used to be, you'd think, ooh, that's a game up in Sheridan. And, of course, Jalen's done such a great job. I've told people, I said, I've seen LaPel play. I said, unless LaPel finds consistency, I believe Sheridan is the straight-out sole favorite to win that sectional 39, as long as they stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheridan has a great top 6 people. They can all play basketball. They get after it. Jalen's done a wonderful job preparing them the last 4 years to get them to where they are right now. But we just got to come ready and just give them our best effort so that we can keep moving forward and getting better as well.
Of course, I'm not sure because I haven't seen Central play for a couple years. But again, with LaPel, the challenge is Willis because she's so good and so athletic around the rim. And, she's having to come out because they're struggling handling the basketball against pressure now. So she has to come out and kind of run the point, which I think is why she doesn't seem to be shooting quite as well as she has in the past. But I think that's it. I just think she's having to carry.
Yeah.
So that she could create, I guess, a matchup for you because if she comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're taking it one game at a time, obviously, right now. So we're really focused on Clinton Central at the moment. Now that Elwood's done, they've got a stud as well. So we're going to try to lock down her on Thursday, and then we'll pick up with Willis and try to lock her down as well. So yeah, we'll see.
Oak Hill has its season best 5-game winning streak after Tuesday's 31-21 win at Mechaniqua. It's Oak Hill's longest winning streak since it won 10 in a row during the 2019-20 season. They out-rebounded Mechaniqua 25-12. In their last 3 games, the Golden Eagles have allowed just 23 points per game. Oak Hill was led by 12 points from senior Alexa Myers. She was 4 for 4 from the field and had 9 rebounds. Sophomore Landry Hardman finished with 7 points and 6 rebounds in the win. Oak Hill hosts Mississinewa Saturday at 12:30. In its next contest, the Eagles are 2-0 in the CIC. Mechaniqua drops to 5-3. The 21 points the Braves scored are the fewest since a 41-17 loss the last time they visited Oak Hill on December 6, 2022. Tri-Central fell to 4-4 with a Hoosier Heartland Conference 52-34 loss at Clinton Prairie on Tuesday. It was the first conference loss of the season for the Trojans, who host 5-3 Mechaniqua on Thursday. Clinton Prairie is 4-5 overall and now 2-2 in the HHC. Hamilton Heights won its first game of the season, defeating visiting Logansport 50-35 on Tuesday. The Huskies led 29-14 at the half. They host 2-8 West Lafayette on Saturday to try to make it 2 in a row. Logansport is now 1-8 with 8 straight losses. On the heels of a 3-game winning streak, Marion has now lost 2 in a row after a 59-40 loss on Tuesday to visiting Fort Wayne. Kevin Helfrich of the Action Sports Network called the game and has a report. Well, Kevin, it looks like you saw a pretty good Wayne team last night.
Yeah, they were very impressive, athletic, tall, good shooters, just a very balanced team. They came out and led throughout the entire night. After the first stop, it was 16-10, and the big quarter was the second quarter. Marion dug themselves a big hole. They fell down 34-17 at the half, and it was all because of shooting. The Giants could just hit 4 of 21 in that first half, and the Generals were never threatened in the second half. The lead never got bigger than 19, which was the final margin, but Marion just could never really cut into that deficit. The Giants were led by Naomi Hahn, who had 19 points. She has been their leading scorer most of the year, and then got a really nice game from Shania Scott. She poured in 13 points, and they were able to limit Jaylee Townsend was limited to only 5 points last night, so that was big. For the Giants, they were unable to get her untracked. And Wayne's just a very good basketball team. Marion falls to 4-5 on the season, but they'll look to rebound this Saturday when they travel over to Huntington North for a big one there on Saturday, a non-conference matchup.
Kevin will have a preview of Mississinewa-Southwood coming up momentarily. Marion is at 4-5 Huntington North on Saturday evening. Wayne is 8-2, its best start in at least 30 years. It's the Generals' 5th straight win over Marion. Kokomo improved to 7-2 with a 49-38 win against rival Western on Tuesday. The Wildcats held the Panthers to 31% shooting and forced 34 turnovers. They were led by 16 points from senior Michaela Drake. Sophomore Satira Scott had 9 points. Sophomore Bella Richards finished with 8 points and 10 rebounds, 7 of those on the offensive end. And junior Amara Stroman contributed 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. They host 10-1 McCutcheon, which is ranked 8th in Class 4A, on Friday. On Wednesday morning, I spoke with Kokomo head coach Haley Peckinpaugh about the win. All right, Coach. Well, it had been a while since your team had won a game. It has to be nice to get back in the win column, especially against a county rival like that.
Yeah, definitely. December's we have a hard schedule in December, and trying to win games is going to be tough, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we're just happy that we could, kind of get on the right track.
Who played well for you, Coach?
Honestly, I feel like it's a hard question because everybody defensively played pretty well. We were trying to turn them over, and that was successful. They had 34 turnovers, and we're still struggling to find our way offensively. But I feel like defensively, every person that got in played well defensively.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about December being tough. What's it been like with your team in the last couple of weeks, coming, after a 6-0 start, coming off a couple losses?
You know, we're pretty young, so it's hard to stay positive when you're losing, when they're not used to losing. So at practice, they've had a little chip on their shoulder. They'll do little things like tell each other what they're doing wrong, and we just got to be able to, channel that into a positive way. And if you're gonna criticize someone, you've also got to be able to take criticism, and that's going to be really big for us. Playing through adversity is tough for us in some aspects because the girls care so much and they're so emotional. So we're working through that every single day. As far as being positive, I think they're being positive overall, but otherwise, we're just really trying to get better.
Western was led by a season high 21 points from junior Elise Walden. She also had a season best 12 rebounds, with 6 coming on the offensive end. Walden was 7 for 15 from the field. The rest of the Panthers were 4 for 21. Western looks to snap a 3-game losing streak. And again, it's a completely understandable losing streak. The teams they've lost to are combined 24-5, and they were competitive in all of them. Anyway, they tried to snap their 3-game losing streak when it hosts 2-8 Twin Lakes on Saturday afternoon. Muncie Central has its best start through 9 games since 2021 after Tuesday's 50-45 home win over Jay County. The Bearcats go for their 6th straight win next Tuesday at home against 6-3 Clinton Central. They just won twice all of last year. Impressive performance. We've had a few of those this year. Very impressive performance by the Bearcats so far. Jay County has now lost 4 in a row. Sophomore Haley Schwederman scored 24 of the Patriots' 45 points. She came into the game averaging 22.5. Wapahani has its second 4-game winning streak of the season. The Raiders beat rival Yorktown 44-34 and are now 4-0 against Delaware County teams this year. Wapahani led 27-17 at the half and 39-24 through 3 quarters, controlling most of the contest. They were led by 15 points and 14 rebounds from senior Kimber Abshire. Senior Bailey Carpenter and junior Emily Luce scored 9 points apiece. The Raiders host 4-4 Winchester on Thursday. Yorktown is 5-3 and had its 3-game winning streak snapped. Junior Alexa Fields led the Tigers with 13 points. She made 2 of her 3 3-point attempts and had 4 rebounds. Freshman Riley Johnson continues her impressive play with 10 points and team highs of 5 rebounds and 5 steals. Pendleton Heights led Class 4A number 2 Hamilton Southeastern 7-5 early Tuesday. The Royals then outscored Pendleton 48-26 the rest of the way, shooting 60% from the field to improve to 11-0 on the season. The Royals were led by 19.7 rebounds and 3 assists from future IU Hoosier Maya Mikulski. Senior Casey Werfel had a team-best 18 points, and sophomore Ada Hupfer had 9 points and 12 rebounds for the 5-5 Arabians. They've lost 4 of their last 6 games and host Delta in a Hoosier Heritage contest on Thursday. It's going to be a busy night on Thursday. Anderson is 0-9 for the first time since 2009 after a 43-19 loss at Mount Vernon. The Indians host Purdue Poly Inglewood on Friday. Mount Vernon is 8-3 now and has won 6 of their last 8 games. Junior Griffin Knight had a season-best 30 points, and Delta blew out rival Burris 84-35. The Eagles won 3 in a row and 5 of their last 7, and as I said about 4 times this week, they are 2 shots away from having a 7-game winning streak. Freshman Gracie Maurer added 14 points, junior Addison Barnes had 8, sophomore Harper Timmerman, and juniors Elizabeth Bamadelli and junior Jillian Barr each scored 7. Delta goes to Pendleton Heights to face the 5-5 Arabians in an HHC contest Thursday. 1-9 Burris has lost 4 in a row and goes to University on Friday to face the 3-4 Trailblazers. Northwestern snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 48-24 win at rival Eastern on Tuesday. Senior Anna Bisher led Northwestern with 14 points, and freshman Brooklyn Conwell added 12. Bisher had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. Conwell also had 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 assists. Sophomore Ava Schultz led the Tigers with 12 rebounds. Northwestern is now 3-5 and goes to Benton Central on Saturday afternoon. Eastern falls to 0-9 for the first time since 2021. The Comets were led by 8 points and 10 rebounds from senior Marley Cohn, who's having a really nice season. 6 points and 9 boards from senior Kinsey Eagle, and 6 points and 2 assists from freshman Gianna Beachy. Eastern hosts 4-4 Tri-Central in an HHC contest on Friday. Taylor fell to 2-9 with its 4th straight loss, 62-29, to visiting Northfield on Tuesday. The Titans host 4-5 Clinton Prairie in an HHC contest next Monday. Northfield is now 4-4. The Norse were led by 20 points from senior Ellie Baker. She was 8 for 12 from the field and made both of her 3-point shots and both of her free throws. The Norsemen, I love that name, have won 2 of their last 3. Won their last 2 and 3 of their last 4. Before we get to the Central Indiana Sports Report Girls Basketball Player of the Day, this is your daily reminder to go like, subscribe, or follow us. Please go do it now so you don't miss a single segment. The Central Indiana Sports Report Girls Basketball Player of the Day for Tuesday is Wapahani senior Kimber Abshir. She had 15 points and 14 rebounds in the Raiders' 44-34 win over rival Yorktown. Madison Grant is coming off a big 41-27 win over Blackford on Saturday and now goes on the road for the first time in over 3 weeks. The Argyles go to Lapel to face the 5-5 Bulldogs, who have won 4 of their last 6. After tough road losses against Alexandria and Yorktown, Lapel bounced back to beat University 53-38 on Saturday. Madison Grant struggled without star Jasmine Rainey, who was sidelined for 4 games and saw the Argyles go 0-4. She had 14 points and 3 steals in the win over Blackford. The star for Lapel is junior Lanaya Wills. She scored at least 20 points in 6 of the Bulldogs' 10 games, and she had double-digit rebounds in 8 of the 10 games. Sophomore Layla Dawson had a career-best 10 assists Tuesday and is now averaging over 4 per contest. The Bulldogs have beaten Madison Grant 8 years in a row. Jeff Sagarin's computer rankings say this year Lapel is favored by 40. Frankton has beaten Daleville every time they've played in the last 25 years. The Eagles are 4-0 in the series. The scores have been 75-2, 74-7, 54-14, and last year 69-34. Doesn't appear it's going to be that way Wednesday. Frankton enters the contest 4-5 and has lost 4 of its last 6, while the Broncos are 4-4 and have been playing really well of late as they've gotten all of their players, including a 54-31 win at Randolph Southern on Tuesday. Sophomore Olivia Pratcher had a career-best 26 points in that win and is now averaging 12.5 points per game. The Eagles are led by senior Emma Key, who's averaging 14.9 points and 3.9 steals per game. Senior Sophia Hoagland leads the team with 6.9 rebounds. Sophomore Layla Dietzer is the team leader with just over 2 assists. The Sagarin rating says Daleville will get its first win over Frankton. According to the computer, the Broncos are favored by 9. And 3-4 Southwood is at 2-5 Mississinewa. Kevin Helfrich will call the game for the Action Sports Network, and he has a preview for us. Kevin is a busy man during basketball season. He had Marion versus Wayne on Tuesday. He has Mississinewa versus Southwood on Wednesday. Kevin, what are you expecting from this one?
I expect this one to be a really, really good contest. Just going off a baseline of seeing, both these teams recently played Eastbrook. So just looking at that comparison, one was a 6-point winner, one was a 9-point winner. You can't just go off of that necessarily, but that's a good indication that these are two pretty evenly matched teams. Mississinewa obviously is led by J.C. Crick, a little over 16 points a game, and then Brooklyn Nash at 6 points a game. But, an Indian struggle all season has been shooting the basketball. So we'll see tonight. They're at home. So hopefully the Wrens will be a little bit friendlier to them than maybe some of the road contests. But Southwood's going to come in at 3-4. They did lose their last game to Rochester, a 38-25 defeat. But both these teams don't score a lot of points. So I anticipate this to be an upper 30s, low 40s contest. And both of them play pretty good defense as well. So it's really going to be a close game. Southwood's led by Haley Peckinpaugh. She averages just over 10 points a game and pulls down nearly 9 rebounds a game. So she's a good one to watch. But the entire Southwood starting lineup is underclassmen. So this is a team that's going to continue to get better this year and into the next year. So they've got a promising future ahead. So Mississinewa will try to get this non-conference game today at home before they would go to their next contest.
I saw that J.C. Crick had just 5 field goal attempts against Eastbrook. Seems like maybe she's trying to get others involved.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. They need to have some other players, come alongside her offensively to help the Indians. And so, that might have been the case. I didn't see that game, but she's definitely a potent scorer, but definitely needs some others to help her. As Mississinewa, that's a win where maybe they can build on and get. This is one they can get tonight against Southwood. You get a 2-game win streak going. You never know where that may take you from there. So this is an important game tonight in Gas City.
Mississinewa beat Southwood by 6 points last year. The Sagarin rating says Mississinewa by 6 this year. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana girls basketball. Thanks once again to Michelle Garmon. She's the best. She and I will have several different segments coming up in the next few days. Thanks also to Elwood head coach Courtney Licklider and Tipton head coach Lela Gillmann, and Kokomo head coach Haley Peckinpaugh, and also to Kevin Helfrich, who did double duty today. Can't thank you all enough. But thanks most of all to you, the listener. You have no idea how much you listening means to me. I ask one small favor. I know you've been thinking of someone who would enjoy the Central Indiana Sports Report. If you get the opportunity, please send them a link to the Central Indiana Sports Report. By the way, we can also now be heard on YouTube. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. We, of course, would be humbly in your debt. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of IDG Media and I Love Susie.